about day 3 of the battle for Ukraine, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So this is the third day of it, and Ukraine might become like a certain country in World War II. Ukraine does not really. Ukraine has been actually at war for since 2014, so that's 8 years. And it was originally against these two places. And of course, the Minsk agreements agreed on a ceasefire. And yeah, my original video was basically talking about the Minsk agreements, but again, the mainstream media continues to ignore that the Minsk agreements even existed. But yeah, there's now an actual battle for the capital of Ukraine, which is right here. Kiev is right here in this area. This is a detailed map. And yeah, they're in northern Kiev. Because this is northern Kiev. Again, Kiev's a very large area. But they are in the northern part of the city. They also were pushed back a bit here. But again, Ukraine is losing on most of this eastern front. And on the Crimea front as well. So here is the live Ukraine map. Again, according to this map, they have not reached the Kiev area. But again, northern Kiev, there's a lot of like forest area. Let's see what the other countries are doing. Ukraine has the place over. And Ukraine also there was an attack on a nuclear facility. There's also, and on this map, it also shows that there's also that the Russian army is going through the roads here. And of course, Russia is invading from Crimea. Yeah. Was they are continuing to advance through that area as well. Another thing is Russia was kicked out of the bank SWIFT, which I have never even. What is SWIFT anyways? But that means, but again, Russia is probably just gonna say, you know what? They're gonna probably do something with China to make their own parallel economy, which is very, very scary. It also shows the end of globalization as a whole, because SWIFT is, of course, the globalist program. If you don't know what SWIFT, I did not know what SWIFT is until recently, but it's basically the globalist, banking system where all countries have to abide, basically like the UN, all that stuff. Yeah. In Northern Illinois. So yeah, SWIFT is. I actually had to look up what SWIFT is. This is what SWIFT is. If anyone want to know what SWIFT is, there's a whole Wikipedia article about it. And it's often used in sanctions with an Israeli banks, but Palestine wanted to get rid of Israel off of SWIFT. But Russia already made their equivalent to SWIFT, which I bet it'll probably be, Russia already made their own. And I bet Russia will probably join like CHIPS, which is China's, or they'll probably just use their own, because they have their own banking system as well. So and all these countries are connected towards the Russian system. So Russia isn't really in SWIFT that much. So I don't really think Russia probably gives a crap about SWIFT, but does block them from trade though. But Russia's allies will probably not give a crap anyways, like Pakistan, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, China, and those countries. Which this basically means kicking them out of SWIFT is basically like, trying to financially block them. But you know that Russia's just gonna go to China instead of, Europe. Because Russia is friends with China. You know. And China, they love Russia. They're even suing Russia's invasion. They're even suing. The Chinese internet is even suing the invasion. Because China and Russia want to be the new superpowers of the world. Yeah. And China is the second largest economy in the world. Yeah. And that China, they're gonna want to invade, of course, Taiwan, which is what China has been wanting to do for probably decades now, and now they have the military to do so. So, while the West has the wool pulled over their eyes, China could swiftly just take over Taiwan. With the only thing, Taiwan could probably last a day against China without any international help. Oh, because if you look at where Taipei is Taipei is like very close to the coast, so really all China has to do is just go toward Taipei and take over the city. And I don't know if there's any other big cities in Taiwan, but I'm not really that well versed in Taiwan's landscapes, so yeah. But yeah, Taipei will probably be next to fall if China decides to invade, of course, Taiwan. But again, unlike Ukraine, Taiwan is not recognized by a majority of countries, unlike Ukraine. Unlike Ukraine, Taiwan is not really recognized by a majority of countries. So, but unlike Ukraine, Taiwan actually is ready to fight. Unlike Ukraine, because Ukraine, and in terms of Europe, was weaker. Had a weaker military than Switzerland, and Switzerland has like 80,000 troops or something. But China has 1 billion people, and China has always claimed that Taiwan was theirs. And much like Russia, China has a demographic crisis that is coming very, very quickly. So both countries kind of have to act quickly if they want to cement their powers on the globe. And China, most of their power has been gone through economic power, because unlike Russia, where they're very, very weak economically, China, if you look at the economy of China, largest economies in the world, okay? And look at GDP nominal. China is the second largest economy in the world, rapidly catching up to America's economy. Me as well. So, China is rapidly catching up to America's economy. India, even like a place like India, India's economy is rapidly growing as well. But we compare China to Russia. Russia's economy is smaller than South Korea's. Okay. And again, China's GDP per capita is not that high, but China has 1.4 billion people. America only has like 340 million people. So yeah, America is much more richer per capita. But China has basically more people. So China is bound to eventually catch up to America. Same thing with India. India has more people than America as well. I think India will eventually catch up to America as economy, as the second largest economy, and it probably will eventually, because of population, catch up to China. Because India is expected to pass China in the coming decades as well. In population. And look at like the other countries and economies. Well, Congo's is really low. Congo's is only 54 million. And Venezuela's is pretty bad, but Venezuela, their economy has been very horrible because of Maduro. Venezuela is probably even poorer than a lot of third world countries at this point. And of course, we have this list, which is purchasing power parity. This is a separate list, and in this list, China already passed America on this list, and the EU is. But the EU does have more people than America. India is the third largest economy in this list. And I think, yeah, the Philippines passed $1 billion economy. You know. So if we want to look at this list, which is the list of which most, you know, China is already the largest economy in this ranking. So really, so if Russia does have an alliance with China, Russia is allying themselves with the second and first most economic powerful country in the world. If we go, of course, per capita, America is far richer than China. But yeah, that's basically about this video. And yeah, also Luxembourg is the richest country, in Liechtenstein, Monaco. Yeah, that's basically about this video. Goodbye.